Right, welcome back. Last time we took Milan down another few notches and aggressively vassalized Verona. It was with a casus belli that was supposed to change the government type, but I had forgotten to do that. So, yeah. However, in the process I now have the permanent claims in the central Italy region. And I will at least try to get the entire Lombardy area, so... I'm going to need that to form Italy. Though forming Italy will have to wait until I have nationalism, but... I'll get there eventually, especially considering the fact that I need to attack Spain and France in order to do so. I do have hopes to eventually team up with Bohemia because they will be a very convenient ally in so many ways. Or perhaps even Poland? Maybe not. Either way, things will become very interesting. Especially wonder... Okay, in other news, the church are now full taxpayers, and I've updated the tax service to full tax collection, and also did a couple other minor reforms, including removing all tax exemptions from the aristocrats. Ooh, yes. More reforms will, of course, come in the future, including the fact that I do plan on moving to career soldiery at some point. I'm fully aware this will reduce the amount of manpower I get. Well, that's fine. It will further reduce their gravity and make them fairly... Well, actually, it wouldn't reduce their gravity, but it would make them fairly susceptible to finally moving them down to gentry. Especially since I've lately been keeping their power up a little bit higher through the use of arranged strategic marriage in order to keep their loyalty up. Anyway. League wars have been happening, and I think for the most part they're done. Though there is, I believe, room for one more. And the vassals are fairly loyal, although it might take some time, with Verona, thanks to forced vassalization and all that aggressive expansion. Yeah, for now, the main idea is to just sit around and wait until the aggressive expansion decays, because I actually have been doing a lot in that direction, so... Yeah, it'd be best just to wait. Especially since I'm... Attacking Savoy is going to be incredibly difficult because of the aggressive expansion of the HRE. Yeah, I am going to need these two provinces, though. Oh well. Oh-ho-ho! Oh-ho-ho, that event gives me some maneuvering space for something interesting. I'm not rotating all 10 years. Systematic rotation isn't great. A lot of these require either reforms that I can't obtain yet, or more state reach. But depoliticizing the hire of officials will further make things easier. I doubt I can fully depoliticize. Yeah, 50 bureaucratic influence. Yikes. Oh well. Right, let's truly begin. Not for saying that church, donate to the church. Even if I'm losing money, I still need to work on that. Right, influence action can't be done. And everything here requires more state reach or more bureaucratic influence. Or it's civil examinations. That one's going to be awful to obtain. Among other things, while I could, in theory, afford a capital, rank 3, not at the moment, but that's because my tax system and my conscription system are collapsing due to sheer quantities of corruption. Recall corrupt officials. There we go. That should help reduce it more quickly. And ensure that my balance gets back to normal. Because right now, I am spending way too much in raised regiment maintenance due to being over force limit. It's 7 ducats a month now. I hope the boosted amounts of the reduction in corruption will fix this issue. Yeah, it's no longer a problem. So yeah, very much evidence of the fact that you still have problems with wandering amounts of manpower, fluctuating amounts of manpower, except instead of being based on noble loyalty, it's based upon provincial corruption. Okay. Oh, it's a decade again, so. Pistoles! Oh, those. Land attrition multiplier. Well, land attrition modifier minus 5%. Combat with plus 2, cavalry fire plus 0.1, infantry shock plus 0.5, and enables several new unit types, some of which I actually use. Isn't that impressive? The Royal Exchange. Trade efficiency plus, well, doesn't say anything, but it probably means it's 0.5%. Sadly, Paradox truncates for this stuff. Percentages and all that, at least in tech. Anyway, Naval Morale plus 0.1, and enables, well, the Galleass and the Heavy Galleon. Add Librarians, yearly corruption minus 0.02. Tercios, no other choice. I could in theory grab. I don't see the need to do that. Okay. Good, manpower's recovering. You know, I do have enough influence for this. It is going to burn 40 aristocrat loyalty, but yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Plus, I could really use the improved professionalism. The aristocratic faction. New concession stage liberties. Range of strategic approach. Temporary tax relief. Helps get relations up, which makes it so that loyalty goes back up faster. Full provision gives me more stability to work with. Support commerce. Former show of devotion. Thankfully, the cost of that has decreased now that they're weaker. I'll actually endow the church. There we go. Okay, is there anything else? No, I just need to deal with the Genoese separatists when it comes time for that. When it becomes time for that. Not exactly much I can do about that yet, though. Okay, I think it would be a good time to go ahead and just declare war now. The aggressive expansion has, for the most part, decayed by now. Might be a tiny bit left in Milan, but that's it. So, yeah, let's get on with it then. Right? Yeah, it's actually even gone on the way. Okay, good. Partia. I can siege that down. Okay, so they have a maxed out fort sitting on like level 2 garrison with the capital. Defense. Yeah, okay. Okay, this might not be nearly as easy as I hoped it would be. I could use cash more. My finances are not particularly stable, especially with the siege going on. Thankfully it's slowly speeding up as the spy network improves. And as my army tradition remains relatively high. It can only stay at max for as long as I am drilling, but as army professionalism goes up, it's going to improve even further. And it is increasing after all. I did recently move up. In fact, I forgot to do this. Ooh, very. Let's wait until later for that. Increasing centralization is a great idea, but I need time to figure things out. Definitely centralizing the military since there's no negative effects on that. Just raises the resting point by 5%. Nope, not this year. Okay. Perhaps next year the siege will be finished. There we are. Okay. Okay, maybe not attacking the mountains directly? There's something that I should check too before I do anything more. I want to see how bad would it be if I were to... Okay, let's not do that then. Protect the Alps too? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And that locks them off from any other country. I'll be the only one capable of, well, conquering the province. So I'm definitely taking Valtellina because, well, it's claimed by Bavaria, and the last thing I need is for yet another member of the HRE that I need to invade in the process. Grass flats. Ah, that's why they didn't attack. Doesn't matter. They're going down anyway. Oh, okay, I'll take it. Remove your core on Parma, and... Force religion. Oh, that was quick and easy as always. Still need to fabricate the claim on their final province, but just need to wait for the spy network to hit 40. Start drilling. There we go. War over. Oh, and I've increased in international importance. I am now a major. Right. Time to attack again. Hussars! I don't actually get any cavalry from this. No cavalry is unlocked by this, just demi-culverins. Land morale plus 0.09, maneuver plus 10%, cavalry shock plus 0.3. Well, it's entirely possible that the Eastern Tech group gets a new cavalry type, but I just get demi-culverins. Ship's logs. Naval force plus 2%, may stop challenge recruitment, naval morale plus 0.1. The Columbian Exchange. Another group of ideas. I actually don't know exactly what I want to pick up. Probably best to go to diplomatic idea group based. Well, then again, I am going to be vassal feeding a lot, so I'm going to have more admin points, I guess. I guess. Another free admin policy would be funny. Because then I have 3 free admin policies. Well, that's a decision that can be made later. I have no plans for major reforms. I've done too many of them in short order, so... Yield concessions to ancient liberties. Support commerce. Perform a show of devotion. Range of strategic marriage. Don't need to do anything to stabilize. And I'm just going to allow state reach to passively grow. Continue lavishly endowing the church. Since they're taxpayers, it's not nearly as painful to do it this way. Plus 10% of their spending is in taxes, which is amazing. So that does not bode well. Okay, so the burghers still have a huge amount of income. What about the nobles? Yeah, they have quite a bit too. The church is just not budgeting very well. Oh, and complaints about not budgeting well are only valid if, you know, you have luxury expenses. Well, yeah, luxury need fulfillment of over 1,000. Seriously, who needs to live in that much luxury? The residents can barely buy anything luxurious. Yeah. Man, that really isn't very much for the residents. No. Yeah, I mean, the industries in here are making a decent amount of money, but all things considered, outside of the armaments industry, not much money is being made. At least the luxury cloth industry is doing reasonably good, although armaments, yeah, armaments are actually better. Yeah. Lack of rural labor is also something that needs to be looked at. There's not much I can do other than conquer more territory. Oh well. Yeah, it's probably best just to wait for, yeah, Milan. Because I want to lower aggressive expansion because I'm planning on doing some very funny business involving multiple wars at once. In order to bypass the HRE protection. That will be fun. Very, very fun. Okay, after giving it some thought, I think the best idea group for me to pick up would be Humanist. Because I'm constantly having trouble with, well, heretic unrest, and unrest in general, I suppose nationalism. It's just gonna keep increasing, isn't it? So. And once I finish this, I can get representative ideas, which I believe are quite interesting. Anyway. I don't pick this up every time, so I think I'll actually read it out. As with the peaceful means, as with the skinning of cats, so with conquered people. Striking a balance between peaceability and anarchy is difficult, but it certainly pays dividends. Base welfare +1, natural unrest -2. Accommodation. Politics is transactional. As we demand another's taxes and sword arm, we must offer something in exchange. Even that something is a return to normalcy. National Civil War strength -20%, maximum cultures +3. Cultural secularism. Who cares upon which side another's bread is buttered? If all a man's acquiescence cost is apathy, then our passions are clearly better directed somewhere else. Rural culture cost -25%. Strange bedfellows. The closest neighbors make for the fiercest enemies. In truth, it is easier to associate with one whom you have little in common with than with someone whose ideas generally threaten the primacy of your own. Tolerance of heathens +2. Insert leftist infighting jokes. Ecumenism. Much as groups without opposition will squabble and fracture, those who split will seek to unite again, whether it be through nostalgia, resolving old differences, or a simple evaluation of a greater threat. The result is much the same. Tolerance of heretics +2. Benign governance. No government can sustainably be truly benevolent, but it can do its best to be benign. Making things tolerable enough to not want rebellion makes the difference between a golden age and the executioner's block. Diplo rep +1, -10 years of separatism. Common humanity. It is but a notion, nothing to remark upon or defend against, but it exists it always has. And though its time may not be for generations yet, its blossoming will change the world. Female advisor chance +2.5%, maximum tolerance of heretics and heathens +3. As a finisher bonus, religious unity +10%. I should be able to pick up, representation ideas. Increasing institutional authority and the years of separatism is going to be so good. Plus, with the fact that promoted cultures has been lately reduced, at least from tech, actually grabbing an idea group that gives you that does help. I think I'll go ahead and accept at least Lombard culture and Ligurian culture in order to keep them under better control. This will eventually be not important, but still, it's best if I have it done. Definitely going to need to do Emilian culture. Well, actually, I won't, because this will be kept under control by Ferrara, at least for a while. Although it's going to be a while before they can manage to actually convert everything. Though then again, with humanist ideas, it's much less an issue. Yeah. Still not embracing the institution just yet. Although I'm not sure how much cheaper it would get. At the very least, it is spreading very, very quickly, thankfully. Although some provinces it's going to take a very long time. In others, I'm surprised it hasn't arrived yet. That's how quick it is sometimes. So, yeah, I can wait without it being much of a bother. Alright, truce is over, and I may as well go straight in. After all, I don't know what could happen with the peace deal that Savoy will have with Milan. But I know they're not vassalized, which would have interesting implications for what occurs. Very interesting implications. So, why not? Just gonna sit here and wait. Was there a League War? I don't remember that occurring. Yeah, that wasn't a league word, it's just another peace. Yep, religious peace for the Empire. Okay. The Empire is in need of new electors. Why did Bohemia lose their elector status? I guess the heretic princes lost their elector status. Yeah. I wonder why. It did end up happening, so... Wow, okay, that's not an event I got before, so I'm actually going to read this one out loud. Because usually, whenever there's infighting among the various elites of my country, it's usually between the nobles and the burghers. But the burghers and the clergy. The burghers are not the sole authority within their cities. The clergy also have a strong presence in most big cities, going back to their initial founding. Conflicts sometimes arise when the councils of the burghers implement rules that the clergy disapprove of. Such conflicts have become more and more commonplace, and members of the clergy are openly acting in defiance of the various rules the burghers have agreed upon in their cities. Delegates from various cities nominated by the burghers are now urging us to clarify the situation. I'm going to side with the clergy on this one, because I want to get their loyalty up so I can secularize, because that's fun. Okay, Bohemia's already embraced scientific methods too. And I figure the war is not going to take all that long, I just need to siege them down. Bohemia's a crit power now too. Yep, no, I definitely just need to siege them down. Though that won't be able to happen this year, so... There it goes. Okay. Right. Took a year, or almost a year. Spare them. Pause. There we go. Okay. Yeah, unconditional surrender, of course. And there we go. Check aggressive expansion. A bit. Okay. It is as I have expected the amount, but... Yeah. At the very least, I would have the Fields of Lombardy completed. I do need to have the prerequisite mission of Coast of Liguria, though, so... Right. So, the next obvious direction is Padua. Because, well, I mean, if I can end up, bringing Austria... Oh, France would be... Okay, so France no longer has crippling debt. We have some debt, but it's no longer crippling. I may not need to do trickery in order to get what I want. Well, that could be very, very handy. I'm just gonna trade favors for trust, especially among my subjects. Trust is very helpful in ensuring that they remain under control. I will need to integrate Ferrara at some point, though. But they're very strong, which makes them very helpful, but also very, very prone to disloyalty. Which is why caution is so important. And for some reason they moved the capital to Parma. Huh. Medici porcelain. Oh, is this a way to get porcelain? Oh ho ho, that's gonna be very interesting. At the very least, it is definitely a historical event, so... Although I have dramatically reduced the influence of the Medicis within the government, that does not mean that they cannot continue to invest into, well, how should I put this? The economy, the industry, etc. They still hold vast amounts of influence. It's just soft power outside of politics, not hard power within it. Anyway, with the discovery of the East India route, new goods inspired the European nobility. An interest in everything exotic arose. One of the most exquisite goods was porcelain, which was considered a precious good like glassware. And like glassware, its production was a secret. The Medici porcelain was the first successful attempt in Europe to make imitations of Chinese porcelain. Historically, the experimental manufactory housed in the Casino of San Marco in Florence existed between 1575 and 1587, under the patronage of Francesco de' Medici, Francesco I de' Medici, the Grand Duke of Tuscany. Well, we don't have a Grand Duke. A painted mark of Brunelleschi's dome and a capital letter F appeared on the underside of some pieces. Others bared the Medici Palais, the balls that are the Medici heraldic charge. Never a commercial venture, Medici porcelains were sometimes given as diplomatic gifts. For example, surviving pieces bear the arms of Philip II of Spain. The first successes were finally reported in 1578 by the Venetian ambassador Andrea Gussoni. No, that's not an advisor. Who mentioned in his brief to the Serenissima that Alessandro Guadagni had discovered the means of making the porcelain of India. Yep, no advisors. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. That's far too expensive. Sadly, I can't use that because I'm a republic. I'm gonna change ruler eventually, and even then, he's not gonna live for that long. And I can barely afford that, so it's far too expensive. If we were to permanently open it as a commercial venture, yes. But it's not, so nothing I can do about it. Or at least it's not worth the cost. Okay. Right. That should be good enough for this session. Okay, so, yeah, we're pretty close to the point cap. At least for Diplo points. And it's gonna be a while before I get an idea group. I think it might finally be time to go ahead and integrate Ferrara. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Anyway, light cannons. Cavalry flanking damage plus 10%. Artillery fire plus 0.5, which means artillery now actually has a reasonable impact on the battlefield. In order for it to have a really good one, I'm gonna need to wait another 80 years, but it's a start. Artillery shock plus 105. Enables the firing dragon guns for other people. Great circle sail. Naval force limit plus 30%, colonial range plus 20, trade range plus 50, naval ROM plus 0.1, naval engagement plus 5, and the observation method. Urban production efficiency plus 1%. And scientific methods will start having an impact on the next deck. Alright. That's fine. There's a couple provinces that I want to wait on because they will embrace the institution soon-ish. The Ravenna happens to be the big one. The others, well, okay. There is Perugia. Maybe Livorno? No, Livorno probably not, unless the amount of knowledge production increases. Or investment of knowledge production, etc., etc. Okay, so I think it's time we finally secularize. This will be very expensive in loyalty, but it will permanently remove the clergy as a factor in politics. At most, their gravity is going to be, their influence will be around 20%. Maybe 25 at the very highest. Yeah. And it's probably from sheer wealth that they get a lot of their power, but that's fading too. Yeah. It is fading away, after all. They were recently made taxpayers, and yeah, I think to some degree they're somewhat reliant on me funneling money into their coffers. So, yes. Let's go ahead and do that. There are no other reforms I want to do, because this is already big enough. The country is officially secular. I can't lavishly endow the church anymore. Still do stuff like perform a show of devotion. Can't promote their faction. I think something's off with the factual. Well, did I recently mess around with influence on it? Maybe. Yes, probably. Yep, broken merchants. Right there. That's blocking it. Yeah, those events can pop up even when you don't want them to, which gets very annoying. Yep, liberties. Doing this 4 times. It's approximately equivalent to that. Okay, aristocrats, arrange a strategic marriage. The arranging of strategic marriage will help keep things under a proper amount of control. Gain full claim provision and temporary tax relief. I can handle worse finances for a while, that's for sure. And promote sport commerce, and why not? Provide tax relief. I've recently burned a lot of their loyalty on events in order to improve the loyalty of other factions, which is fine by me because, simply put, burger loyalty is excessively cheap, especially in events, so. Manpower is skyrocketing, too, which is great. Anyway, to finish off, yeah, scientific methods has arrived, and all that. Milan's no longer here. I conquered them entirely. Although it took a couple wars for that to occur. I specifically had to get this one first to ensure that Bavaria didn't grab it. I've also picked up humanist ideas, which will at least make it so that the various provinces aren't quite as annoying to deal with. Plus, the higher religious unity does make it so that missionary strength is a little bit higher than it otherwise would be. Because bad religious unity always causes problems, and it's lower specifically because I have bad stability, which lowers tolerance of heretics, which lowers religious unity. Anyway, yeah. I think that's mostly about it. The Empire has finally gone into religious peace. So, yeah. The Empire is practically dead at this point. I think I'm pretty much the only major Lutheran country left. Yeah, definitely not Lutheran, Reform, Calvinist country left. Yep. I think the only other country that's still Calvinist happens to be my subject. And it doesn't help that there's centers of Catholicism doing their thing in our provinces. And there's no more Reformed centers left, Calvinist centers left, because Savoy managed to actually get rid of it by converting their province. And I did convert by event, not by this. Yeah. So. But yeah. I'm planning on trying to attack Padua in order to pull, well, Hungary and more importantly Austria into a war. Then I will try to make the war as quick as possible, while also attacking Savoy. That way I will be already at war with the Emperor, so they won't get called in, so I don't have to, as a co-belligerent, so I don't have to deal with Spain. Sure, I can bring in France now, because, well, France's debt is slowly disappearing for once. But it's still very, very... yeah. At the very least, the country is fairly stable, and the clergy have permanently been taken care of. And I'm working on doing the same to the nobles. I will eventually have to do the same with the burghers, though, because while they are convenient and somewhat helpful, easy to keep appeased, among other things, there's issues with having them around, and I'd rather they not cause any more problems. And there's only one good way to do that, so... Anyway, I think I have gone on long enough. Oh yes, I definitely have gone on long enough. I keep making this ending to 10 minutes when I don't need to. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Until then.